On and off the court, Allen Iverson changed the basketball culture. He retires following a career highlighted by a 2001 MVP award and 11 All-Star appearances. With one of the sickest crossovers the league has ever seen, the answer racked up the 24th most points by an NBA player ever. For good and bad, Iverson was always in the spotlight, and now NBA TV's David Aldridge chats with AI about a career full of memorable moments.
First of all, I want to thank you. You gave me respect, man. I always appreciated that.
Get respect, you get it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you at peace?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think I would be.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would be. Honestly, you know, that was the hard part. Just letting everybody know. And just letting my fans know, man. Most importantly, just me being out every day, and every time somebody see me, you know, don't retire, this, that, and the third, and you know, just to stop it, you know, I wanted to make it official, and just let all my fans know that this is it.
When you have the discussion about your cultural impact, I used to always say this: Allen Iverson sold more jerseys to white kids than he ever sold to black kids. You know, and so you got to understand that it's not just black people he influences. He influences the entire culture. And I wonder if you ever put your arms around that impact that you have.
Because I'm all right being me. You know, sometimes your job won't allow you to be actually who you are, but you got to provide for your family. You got to put food on the table, so you got to do whatever you got to do to survive, you know. But a lot of times people want to be authentic. They don't want to go out of their shell and become somebody else, because they have to, you know what I mean. And with me, in the profession that I was in, I was able to not have to change, you know what I mean. Yeah, I could have did it for more money. I could have, you know, wore my hair a certain way, or act a certain way, or dressed a certain way, you know. But I chose to just be me, and I was comfortable with it. Like I'm comfortable being in a room with a billionaire, and I'm comfortable being in a room with a bum.
What was that spring of 2001 like, being at the pinnacle of your profession?
That was it, man. You know what I mean? It was special, and it was special because the team was special. You know what I mean? Like, the guys that we had on the team, we didn't have all the talent in the world. We didn't have all the great scores, the all-star players and all that. You know what I mean? It was just me, as far as the offense, and a bunch of tough-ass dudes. You know, a bunch of hard-nosed dudes, and a great coach.
When did you start to feel Larry Brown?
I don't know exactly when, but if you look at my game and how it progressed, that's when you can tell. That's when you can tell that I started to listen. Because I used to always think it was criticism, but it was constructive. I hadn't had anybody get on me like that. You know, Coach Thompson, I was scared of him. It's a difference. There's a difference. Like I never even thought about not listening to nothing he said. But Coach Brown, I was just taking his criticism from him the wrong way. And once I started listening to him, that's when my game just, I mean, he used to teach me things. I was like, damn, you know, if I would have been listening to this all along, then maybe we wouldn't have lost this game, or maybe I wouldn't have made the decision that I made. He taught me the game up here. I had all the physical ability, but when I started listening to him and listening to him give me what he had to offer, that's what took me to MVP status.
Do you think you were the bridge between the Jordan era and the LeBron era?
I definitely think so. I mean, I used to always, you know, tell my friends, you know, when I went to see him play the first time, I said, man, he's a big me. And this when he was in high school, and he turned out to be a words can't even explain how bad the kid is.
What is going to be the thing when you're 70 years old and you think about your career as a pro basketball player? What's going to flash through your mind?
The competition. I think when I was in college, that's all I used to think about. You know, when I get to the league, I'm gonna be playing against such and such on this night, such and such on that night, such and such on this night. And that's the great part about it. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no cakewalks in no NBA basketball game. Like, everything that you do successful in those games, you earned it. You earned it. All the hard work that you ever put in, you know, you've earned it. All the practice that you put in, you earned it. You earned it. And that's what I think about. I think about the tough times, the bad times. How can you call any time a great time without the tough one? You gotta have them, you gotta sprinkle them in there somewhere. You know what I mean? And I don't mind. I understand that's the way it's gonna go. That's life.
Well, much thanks to David Aldridge. Some great, compelling stuff there from Allen Iverson, who is currently 6th on the NBA's all-time list for points per game scored. Well, they're all trailing Jordan. We welcome you back into studio with Dennis Scott. It seems to be, especially when hearing that and all the articles that came out in the last couple of days, when you reflect on the career of Allen Iverson, it is very different than how you would reflect on many of the other game's greats. There's a lot of hindsight, a lot of second guessing that goes into decisions that he made on and off the court that you don't get with other future or current Hall of Famers.
That's a great point, Jared. I just remember hearing about the kid down in Norfolk, the Hampton Roads area, playing football and basketball, being a heck of a quarterback, playing wide receiver, phenomenal athlete. You're not going to find too many people at 6 foot, 165 pounds, soaking wet, that's going to go out there and compete every night. That's never been a question. The question is, may he show up on time? The next question is he really ready to play? But once that game starts and the ball's jumped up, there's not one more fierce competitor I can think of at 6 feet tall. Now, you heard him talk about Larry Brown. If he'd have listened to Larry Brown earlier in his career, how much better could he have been?
Right.
And the same thing off the court. You see that interview, I know Allen very well. I know he's still struggling to say, yes, cut the cornrows off. Yeah, cut back on some of the tattoos. It's not so much you want to make more money. You say you want to be a better father. You say you want to set a better example for your kids. Cutting the cornrows off, cutting back on some of the tattoos, just showing how you want to show your kids you live a better lifestyle, I think can help. But at the end of the day, he's a personal friend of mine. We still talk on a regular basis. I'm happy that he's finally, fighting that demon we all go through at the end of our careers. I want to play some more. I know I can still play, but now it's time to move on to bigger and better things.
And whether he wants or not, there is one thing that he will get credit for. That dress code that was instituted back in 2005. He had a big part to do with that.
All of it, the dress code, guys reinforcing shoot around because shoot around is such a big part of our NBA game. But once again, I say it again, once 7 o'clock, 7:05, 7:35, or 8:05, there's never, ever been a question how he was going to compete, how he was going to attack the defense. He was going to give you at 110 or 105 we always talk about.
But I meant that in a positive way, too, because we wouldn't have the NBA style that we have now with guys in the post-game press conferences without AI.
Oh, you trying to say guys are dressing like this no more?
No. Let's move.